I'm sure you must have come across such people. So, but what happens is here the error is structural. So remember that. So it is not in the brain that there is an error. It is at the production level that there is an error because of the mechanism that the child has. Then similarly, they have hearing loss. It's because of the hearing problem. Because there is structural like speech organs are normal. But he has hearing loss. Perception is normal. The mechanism is normal, but he's not able to produce because of the underlying problem. So tongue tie also one of the very common conditions in small children. You can see the third, they are able to do, but third, they are not able to do. So you can see that there is child language acquisition. We call them as functional errors. Because here structurally the child has normal mechanism, but still is making an error. So why is he making the error? Because phonological system is not there. So that is the problem. Like you would have seen children doing this in English. For go, he'd say go, I go there. So even of course adults also we hear that. So we have that because they're not there. Then in Telugu, if you see Illu Pota. So Intiki Pota, the child has not developed. So he'll say Illu Pota. So Intiki, the T case mother, he has to still develop. So you can see there. These are Freudian slips. Basically, they say that they are psychoanalytic in nature. So interpretation. Spoonerisms, again, a famous person called Spooner. He used to do a lot of metathesis that happens in the language, because of which errors used to result. So again, later they found that there is actually a neurological base he had, because of which he had the problems, but still they are very popular. And I think in Hindi movies, they are very much used. Like, pointedly in the context, they make that error to make the people laugh. So, many times we use that. Then we have bilingualism, where errors are happening because of the L1. L1 is the native language, whatever language the person is using. So, you can see in Hindi, Hindi kam kya? I know, in the Telugu, I have also heard it. And also in the has he come? Has he come up? Like that, you're using in Telugu also. So, how the error is happening because of the language influence. So, the prosodic characteristic of Telugu is being applied to English.
Say right.
So, we have that. This is the brain damage. So, first documentation related to that was done by Paul Broca in 1860. Imagine 150 years back, he talked about how brain is important for language and language documentation and the case studies that we have. So coming to Broca's basic questions, like this is one data from one book I have taken that. So target sentence was मैं बाजार जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि मुझे फल खरीदना है. So that was a target sentence. Whereas the patient said मैं बाजार जा फल खरीद. So that is telegraphic speech. Usually we call that as when they have a brain damage, especially with Broca's area. So you can see the speech. This is the error. See, that is the target sentence and this is the error. Last user. So we have in conceptual level also Telugu. We have Pili Paal Tagutundi, Paal Pili Tagutundi, Paal Tagutundi Pili. So this is like we have 3-word order. Because of that, it does not become an error. Whereas same thing if I have to do in English, it will become an error. See, I can't say the grass ate the cow. It has to be the cow ate the grass. So because English does not have the 3-word order. So because of that. So here we have a target. I have shown the picture of dog. One of my patients, he was saying cat. So we call it as semantic paraphrasing, where the conceptual level, the picking of the word is wrong. So the patient makes the error. Then here morphological errors you can see. And then you have the articulatory errors. So here what we have commonalities is across languages, we can see that most of the stops are substituted with the stops. Like voicing errors, you can see in different languages. There is a commonality that you can see. And then vowels and consonants are represented differently in alphabetic languages. Whereas when we come to syllabic-based languages like Telugu and Hindi, the syllabic errors can be seen. They are different and alphabetic errors are different. So conclusion. So speech is planned in advance, and we have like most of the time the errors are happening because of the anticipation. So when brain is planning, it is like multitasking actually. Like how we are doing now. So we are arranging everything and we are doing that. So because of that, you have exchange errors, anticipatory errors, percentage errors, all kind of errors you can see. Then this says that in the brain, when I show a picture of a dog, when the patient is saying cat, that means they are organized in certain way. So they are either organized phonologically or semantically. Then we have a strong grammatical component where the errors have some underlying grammar which makes a difference. So that is also another problem that we have. And then we have contextual errors where the errors are happening because of the external influence. Like in the morning also they were talking about these errors. So conclusion I think has come through. Thank you so much.
అయిపోయింది 2 నిమిషాలు అయిపోయింది
Program అయిపోయింది.
Thank you. Guest today. So today's guest.
Yes, ma'am.
వస్తున్నాం ఫోకస్ చేయట్లేదు దాన్ని తీసే బ్రో ఈ ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసే
చేశానా? మాకేముందు మేము ఆర్గనైజ్ పెట్టినాము.
చేసినామని చెప్పి
అయిపోయింది.
సెట్ చేస్తారు అయిపోయింది ఆల్మోస్ట్ చేసిన ఉందా
అది శబ్దం లేదు.
మంచిగా
Good evening, all. Welcome to the Valedictory program. Now I welcome Dr. K. Balunai, Vice Principal, University of College, Osmania University, to start the Valedictory program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome to you all. The today national conference we have finally reached to second day, and we have to go into valedictory session. The today national conference Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar organized by Department of Linguistics, University College of Arts and Social Science, Osmania University, Hyderabad, in collaboration with Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, Ministry of Education, Government of India. I would like to talk few words about our department, linguistics. Department was established in 1962. The Department for Evaluated Status of CAS code base. We have eminent teachers are there, like B.H. Krishnamurthy sir, Chekuri Ramarao sir, Prakash sir, Ananta Narayana sir, Lakshmi Bai, Swarajya Lakshmi madam, Aditi Bhagati, J.V. Shastri, and Ramesh Kumar sir, Vasinta madam, Ansari, like B.H. Krishnamurthy sir, B.H. Ramakrishna Reddy sir also received the Padma Award in January 2026. Taken of this effort, endangered language, Kui, Manda, and Tui. Osmania, we are operating OPIL, Osmania Papers in Linguistic Journal, annual journal. This journal started in 1975. This is still continuing going on. Today, our valedictory session, chief guest of our valedictory session is Chief guest and keynote speaker are the Ramesh Kumar Chandra, Ramesh Chandra Sharma, ex-president DLA, professor, Department of Linguistics. I welcome you, sir. Police station giving a parking order. I would like to invite Neeraj Bhosle, sir. Welcome to you on the day, sir.
Focus important.
Sharma, sir. Okay with the Bhosle, sir. Busy schedule, our registrar sir, guest of honor, our registrar sir, he couldn't attend. Professor Naresh Reddy, registrar Osmania University, he couldn't attend due to the busy schedule. But I welcome our department head Swati Madam, CS Swati Madam, the head department of Osmania University. My friend and academic coordinator, this program is the this program is because of the center we have organized the Osmania, otherwise it not organized. I academic program is organized father is we have to get the rights. Thank you. I will invite Bhosle sir. I will welcome the Bhosle sir. Say a few words about our valedictory session. Ramesh sir, I forgot. Yeah, welcome to the dais. Sorry sir, I didn't see you. Sorry. Sorry sir.
Effective focus.
Excellent academicians, professors of linguistics sitting on the dais. Professor Sharma, we head of the Department of Linguistics now. Professor Sharma, the coordinator of
It is
the
all the
Bharatiya
you can what is the solution?
Sir, can As a professor of the Department of Linguistics, and Professor Babu, my dear colleagues from CARS, Naresh, and Professor in Delhi University, Sushil, senior members sitting with in front of me, and researchers, students of the department, and all participants present here. Very the initiative taken by Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti must be appreciated by all of us. And we have got an occasion to come together to reflect upon the problems of our language studies. And most of the problems are related to language. The whole growth of mind, as I told in my earlier presentation also, is inherently, naturally related with the development of language. In whatever context of studies, maybe culture, language, or linguistics, literature, so that I have understood. First comes the growth of mind, and this is possible only through language. The evolution of a mind and the evolution of language are a simultaneous process without which we cannot think, we cannot express, and there will be no change in our life. The production of knowledge, sharing of knowledge, all depends upon the language. In relation to this, so the functions are different. There are micro functions, heuristic, regulatory, creative. These are micro functions. There is another class of macro functions, mathetic and pragmatic. Mathetic is associated with the learning languages. So when we are learning languages, we are also learning the world view in the environment of which we live. And how our colleagues behave with us, their character, their behavior, their likes and dislikes, their visions, their dreams, everything. We learn from them. So, we are learning language while learning the word, simultaneous process. This is first macro function. There is another one, that is pragmatic. Pragmatic function is a revolutionary function. What happens here? You see, language is evolved out of the culture, so the cultures are mother. Context of the culture are mother. The languages are like the daughters. But when this systemic process of learning continues, till that point, this is true. But most of the linguists have identified that a revolutionary turn takes place. And that is a linguistic turn. I would like to share with you that linguistic turn. When we are using language for forming our idea, for control of the word we use, okay,
or relations, the characters, that time what happens is language becomes the head of the culture. It becomes the leader when we are using the language. So what was a follower becomes the leader. And that is why this is the linguistic term, and so language becomes the leader. So when we are using the language, we are placed in front of all. And the entire culture, the triple word, physical word, biological word, social word, the entire state and the government becomes the body, if we have to speak in terms of analogy of the railway. So language becomes engine, and the entire triple word, physical word, social word, political word, everything becomes like a copy of the railway. So look at this term. You see, evolution, learning language, learning word. But when we are using the language, we become the engine, we become the preserver, promoter. So the point that I want to suggest here is the pragmatics is very important. And if we are using the language, and especially in the empowerment area, okay, and the empowerment area is the educational institution. NEP 2020 has taken special care of promoting languages in educational institutions. I think this is the first corrective, okay, that was left out, maybe because of the misunderstanding or because of lack of knowledge, whatever it is, but the corrective step is taken by NEP 2020 language policy designers. We should appreciate this. Why? The answer is here. That the pragmatic linguistic turn is being promoted to use language in educational institutions. Okay, and this is very important, and we users of the language, and especially the teachers of language, must understand the gravity of this. So the point is this: if we want to preserve our culture, invoke our past culture, okay, and provide the right way, you see, save destiny, unity, integrity, prosperity of our people, empowerment, real empowerment in the knowledge creation. You see, a community that really honors the name Bharata, because Bharata means people who are dedicated. And people who are dedicated to knowledge will depend upon the pragmatic uses of language in educating the people, means empowering the people in true sense. Only acquiring property doesn't make you rich, let me tell you. If you have knowledge, if you have character, if you have capacity, okay, to do something better and better, and to serve other people, organize the people, create friendly environment, this is possible only through the use of language. And NEP 2020 is going to promote language in education. Without our native languages playing major role in educational institutions, I want to tell even the policy makers of our country that we will be simply talking of our native languages, promoting languages, empowering the people, etc., etc. But there will be no empowerment at all unless we are using our languages in higher education and research, in a thought process, when we create the knowledge, where we empower, you see, it's by awakening the mind. It is like lighting the lamp and spreading the light. So therefore, this is an occasion. I'm really very happy that you have invited me to share this thought. I have studied a lot that language component because I'm the student and I'm the faculty. I take it as my responsibility to respond to the government policy first
Now, I would like to invite Professor Kumar sir, former head and UAS and senior professor of department. He is my guru. I welcome you, sir. Say a few words about our 2 days national conference on Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. Thank you, sir. I welcome you.
I was a former faculty here. We constitute is a wonderful occasion for me. And I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me. So very, I was here in the audience. I wanted to see some of my colleagues that were Sir, our station is a very human person, and I wanted to know him personally here in Hyderabad from our university and our department. So I thought that I should not miss the office. So therefore, it's a beautiful occasion for me to see some of you who are here and people who are working on the concept of Bhasha Pariwar, or we call it as language family. We used to say language family. India and our language families of South Asia. We teach in our classes, but this concept of Bhasha Pariwar is really interesting that you are talking from the perspective of India as a linguistic area, which Professor Melvin Yamano, way back in 1956, he had talked about seeing the commonalities among how these different language families sharing the features that we call it as linguistic. When that concept of different perspective from the same perspective. It's okay for me. As a linguist, we try to analyze the languages and we see there are commonalities. Maybe it is due to the mutual influences that we have been trained. So this concept, whatever is our supposing, I appreciate, and we will see what is there in your new thoughts and how you are going to influence the generation. And the younger generation should work with as the government of the government is seriously interested in minor languages. That in our department, starting with Professor Krishna would be Professor Chibar Ramarao, Dr. Ram Krishna and others. With languages in our country, and they were doing research on these languages. They were going to the field, but after the Chomsky's the paradigm, everybody wanted to sit in their rooms, and it is a kind of armchair linguistics, but the real field linguists, we go to the field and work on these languages and try to do something for these languages, write grammars or dictionaries, whatever, in our own way, and then try to promote those languages in the now as the government has been seriously implementing about this other texts, especially the languages, the tribal languages, because of the poor literacy rate, even though after 75 and 7 years of independence, the literacy rate among the tribals is very, very poor. In some of the Odisha and other states, if you look at, it's around 30%, in some cases it may be 40%. So if you see the scenario, it is really very bad thing. So as linguists, as some of you are young linguists, you should try to work for these languages, and your research should contribute for their literacy development. So the multilingual education program that the government has been trying to promote, and our government, present government, is seriously interested
imparting the education in their, at least up to the fifth class, from first to fifth class in their mother tongue, and try to retain these languages and then try to what you call it as the revitalize them is very, very essential. And the government has been doing this in a very positive way and in a very productive way. I think that the government has the ability and also they are very fast. So rather than just saying for the sake of whatever you say, we are playing this ground, but the government is very firm and they are implementing in a right way. I think it will be very successful if all of you also contribute for these languages. Thank you very much for inviting and sharing to be here on the diet. It's a wonderful condition. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to invite today's chief guest and keynote speaker, Ramesh Chan Sharma, sir, ex-president DAA, Department of English University. And I welcome, I invite you, sir, and say a few words about our values. Friends, this is really a moment of great depth or feeling for me to visit this historical university at such a historical moment when we are talking, sharing ideas about Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. Although the stalwarts from the department are friends of mine, some of them I miss now. But it's happened that I never had an opportunity to do that, although I was in certain committees, including selection committees, but online. So, say, really great moment of satisfaction. But for me, the greater moment is that we are addressing Bharatiya Bhasha. What is Bharatiya Bhasha? See, there are two important issues to be considered. One is the vast linguistic diversity, and second is unity in spite of such a vast linguistic diversity. Before Britishers came to India, all languages in this vast land were coexist. Even according to 2011 census, there are more than 1,300 languages recorded there.
No.
And it is when those languages with the number less than 10,000 are not mentioned. So the number is far more greater. And we don't know whether earlier the languages were even more than this or they were less than this. But earlier it's a natural process of evolution, natural process of development. But what happened? Languages lived peacefully with a feeling of belongingness, with a feeling of happy coexistence, and then having rich heritage of science, rich heritage of astronomy, rich heritage of knowledge systems, philosophy, logic, mathematics, and so on and so forth. Also, linguistics. grammatical traditions. The colonial rules systematically destroyed. And the best step to destroy was divide and rule among the land. So here we stand where we need and we have to address the same feeling, the same coexistence. Indian family of languages or Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, one of the most diverse with rich linguistic traditions in the world. As I mentioned just now, the number of languages. And this is not a new phenomenon. With a history over millennia, it reflects socio-cultural, historical, geographical diversity of this great nation. Different groups of languages supported by distinct linguistic, historical, genetic studies, but also with interconnectedness. That is the backbone of this idea, of this notion. That languages, in spite of being diverse, they are interconnected. They have a common thread there, a common backbone there. Different groups supported by these things there. BBP, Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, has always been a reality since long. And linguistic diversity, of course, stems from historical evolution of different people, cultures, technologies, and migrations. But this has always been misinterpreted by the colonial historians. They have not taken care of to consider this thing, that linguistic, this evolution, historical evolution from which the diversity stands, is a result of the growth of people, evolution of people, cultures, technologies, and migrations. So, linguistic diversity with modern and classical languages constitutes a core component of her identity, unity, and progress. Knowledge has always flowed across the country. Indian languages are not just a means of communication, but also a repository of cultural heritage, history, and collective identity. Moreover, role in the growth and development of the nation is multifaceted, impacting evolution, governance, literacy, empowerment, socio-economic development, and cultural preservation. Therefore, when Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar is further strengthened, we not only need to realize, we have to put it into practice. Whatever we write, whatever we do, researches we do, it should be reflected everywhere. What is Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar? This is a reality. We have been ignoring the reality. We have been ignoring the fact how much Dravidian languages have impacted Indo-Aryan, how much Indo-Aryan has impacted Dravidian, and so on. And not only that, even Austro-Asiatic languages, spoken pockets all over India, they also have taken from these language groups and have also given to you. It is so much so that we are a synthesis. We are a synthesis due to Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. Therefore, this has to be further strengthened. And when this is strengthened, when this is further put into practice, when this is brought into limelight in our researches, whether the researches the other day, there were a number of papers from the scholars in journals. And those papers particularly one paper in Varanasi, related by someone from the Faculty of Science, supportive that languages do not exactly corroborate genetical. So I don't know how much I am Indorian, how much I am Brazilian and so on. It's very different for me. I am the product of God. No, this is a reality. And culturally also, literature, you see, let us look at per capita, where in the world you will see such a large number of classical languages. Per capita rise of classical languages in Dravidian is small. I think it will nowhere be parallel in the world. Such a large number, percentage of languages, in one group, rising to the status of classical languages. It is sheerly because over centuries, literature has been composed. Over centuries, ideas have been incorporated into writing, have been brought into writing, and they have made richer, the heritage of the human population. They have contributed the ideas which would be manifesting for the entire world, for the entire population. So now with having such a large number of classical languages in Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, having the modern languages which are rich with the capacity to be the means of carrying forward the heritage further, to carrying forward the technological nuances and innovations. I am sure the day is not long when Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar is doing the hands of language. I remember from the University of California, from University, Japan, from Shogai University, Japan, from Hankook University of Foreign Studies and so forth. There was one Norwegian. We used to have very good one for a semester. It was a regular teacher of the first time. One day, their professor, the German, Peter Zoller, I'm going to show you something very important. A consortium of publishers had funded each adventure, and they were digitizing the literature from Indian languages, beginning with Hindi. I asked him, what are you doing? And he said that India is going to be rich. We are very sure. And then Indians would be in need of buying this literature, we will sell it to Indians. Indian literature, digitized by a consortium of a companies, and they are planning to sell it to Indians. Then I told him that you don't know that India is going to have a national digital library where all kinds of books, because I was also involved in that project for some time, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, this was the main child of physics. And CDAC and IIBs, they were involved in a big way. So, all literatures in all Indian writing systems would be digital. Consider another case. Nowhere in the world such a level of translation has taken place in history as in India. It was not only the case when ancient literature was translated from Sanskrit to other languages and from other languages to Sanskrit and so on and so forth. But also, after the second convention of Portuguese, when Portuguese were divided, and the divide resulted into two groups, Mahayana and Hinayana, then Sanskrit became the identity of the Mahayana. Because the other group chose to write into Pali. So originally they were also written in Sanskrit. At that time, Tibet, Mongolia, China became such big centers of translation where hundreds and hundreds of translators drawn from all over India were engaged there in translating the literature into those languages, Tibetan, Korean, and Chinese. Then further from Chinese to Korean, and so on and so forth. Look at the fact, not only translation, even medieval times, lot of Quranic literature, myths, epics were translated into Farsi, Persian, and Arabic. And vice versa. Their literature was also translated into very strange. Ayurveda was translated. And that gave rise to another system of medicine which is correlated to Ayurveda, in the world. So it is our knowledge tradition, it is our philosophy, it's our logic, where we find stalwarts like Nagarjun from Andhra, translator like Kumarji from somewhere in Bihar, and then going to China and engaging as being the head of the translation mission there, and so on. It's all because we had a strong Bharatiya Bhasha. So Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar is not only a reality, it needs to be translated into scientific discoveries, scientific researches. Let us address how much languages have influenced each other, how much one group of languages owes to another, and so on, and how those relationships further strengthen these languages themselves. When it is realized, I think we would again be at a position where we used to be. Otherwise, 70% was the always 70% was the literacy and British system. And when they left in 1947, it was 17%. GDP of India was 30% of the overall production of the world when Britishers came. See, for 20 years, it was some year India is surpassing China, sometimes China is surpassing India, but India was never lagging behind. But when Britishers left, we had neither 5% GDP of the world. So we should keep this in mind that whatever historical interactions have taken place should not happen, and we do a proper scientific research. Another point I wish to make here is that today there was a wonderful paper on political observations in Sanskrit. I have read one Siddheswar Verma's book, which appeared in 1920s. When I taught phonetics for almost 25 years, because the rest of the time, and I became engaged in other administrative responsibilities and teaching only my core subjects like historical linguistics, and so on and so forth. I never use the term unexpected. Why I never use that? I was always reminded by Sapir, who says speech is modified breathing. If without air, if without breath, speech sound is not possible, then why should we say unaspirated? Un means without air. I always used Alpa Pran and Maha Pran. The speech sounds produced with lesser quantum of air and with more quantum of air. So let us not only take the phonetics which we designed for the world and which we have again taken up, but also use terminologies from Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar wherever it is possible, so that we strengthen our knowledge base also. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for wonderful and enlightening and very informative keynote address on Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to invite Dr. UMS Selma, Department of Linguistics, University of Delhi, give summary report on today's mission on Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. I will come.
Respected R.C. Sharma, Professor of Linguistics, Delhi University. Respected Professor Professor of Linguistics, University of Karnataka, Central University. My group, Ramesh Kumar sir, he taught me phonology, social linguistics, then computational linguistics, and he used to teach in three languages because we are from local medium. So he used to teach in English, then understand those terms. Then he used to teach that in Telugu. Again, for some others who knows only Hindi, he used to teach them in Hindi. So in that way, linguistics was taught here in three languages: Telugu, English, and Hindi. So that is the specialty of Ramesh Kumar sir. And respected head of the Department of Linguistics, Osmania University, Swati, and young teacher, Dr. Bharatiya, Department of Linguistics. These two are the coordinators, local coordinators of this conference. They have handled everything very authoritatively. And yeah, as you are here for 2 days and you have been listening to the papers, you know what kind of papers have been presented in this 2 day seminar. So when the chief guest in the inaugural function, Professor Surya Thanandeshi, talked about Banjara and its influence and the place of Banjara in Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. And then Kasim also talked about the Telugu influence of Telugu on other languages and policy related matters. Then the first speaker of the first session that Professor Golar Subramanian sir, he spoke on influence of Panini on other languages with special reference to Telugu. He spoke on universals of Paninian grammar, that is Panchakam Prasvargataha. He talked about certain semantic notions of Panini and other aspects of Paninian grammar. And he has discussed with relation to Telugu and other languages. Then Usha Dev Madam, she spoke on a note of the influence of ancient Indian linguistic traditions and modern Indian languages with special reference to Telugu. He has taken the Paninian models and Ketan and other grammars of Telugu and how they influence each other. Then Swarajya Lakshmi Madam, it is really a wonderful paper because she talked of mutual influence on Urdu and Telugu. How Telugu which is really a wonderful paper. Then J. Almakumari Madam, she presented her paper on evolution of Indian script with focus on South Indian script. Mostly she talked about Brahmin script and the evolution of this Brahmin script. Then Kamalakar Sharma sir, he talked about how the semantic change that is happened between the old Telugu and the present day Telugu, especially talked about the means of Upavasa, how it has been changed in the days. In Upavasa, we talked about the influence of Prakrit languages on literature and Telugu, what is this Artha Bhasha concept and the six Prakrit Bhashas, what is Apabhamsha and the relevance of these things. Then V.M. Subramanian Sharma talked about interconnected diversity in some indigenous languages, especially how this Yerkala and Telugu influence theirs, and synchronically and diachronically he tried to express certain things of Yerkala language. Then Penna Madhusudanji, he spoke on Sanskrit and other Indian languages. He focused on Marathi language. And he rightly pointed out that, it is not about the origin, it is about the influence of Indian languages that we should focus on. That is what, talked about. And Vidyamandaji, yes, Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar mein Bhasha ka vaishishtiya. He made many observations that, how the Sanskrit and the Vedic Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit, and modern Prakrit Bhashas, they have evolved and influence of these things on modern Indian languages. This is very unique paper presented by Dr. Annam Naresh. Aruna Kumari Madam's paper that is on writing system, that is unique paper, and this is from translation perspective. He tried to prove that, how we can promote Indian languages through translation. This is a very a unique paper. Sushil Kumar, yes, he nicely presented about NEP 2020's opportunities and challenges. When we are talking about Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, the problems and challenges, generally the teachers and students or the mother tongue speakers, how they face these things in a very nicely. Then Neelakanta Dasji, as R.C. Sharma ji said, phonetics in Indian tradition. So even knowingly or unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously, because we belong to Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, rightly said that, it is better to sometimes we are use the Indian technical terminology, because the foreign terminology will not serve our purpose. So it is better to use our indigenous terminology to give accuracy in the classroom or in our day-to-day conversations. Then Bhimrao, yes, it is again from a different perspective, comprehensive approach to language study. Sir has talked about SFL, Systemic Functional Linguistics, and NEP, and what is this pragmatic in the function of language, and what is the role of this SFL in the Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. I highlighted that one. Again, this is a new perspective to our conference. Then Balu Nayak, again, he talked about Banjara language and Telugu, the mutual influence of Banjara and Telugu. Swati ji, first time in this conference, somebody talked about Indian knowledge system, how the speech errors were there in the ancient Indian literature, and how the modern linguistics, and especially speech pathologists, how they are looking at these speech errors. And through these things, how can we look at speech errors in Indian languages? Is there any Indian theory behind this? These are the important crucial concepts she explained. Yes. In the valedictory speech, R.C. Sharma sir has given the whole picture of what is this Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. That so far what we have been doing in all these papers, we have taken one aspect and we are looking at phonetic aspect, phonological aspects, the influence or something borrowing, these kind of things. But the real picture, the panoramic picture of Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, what is this? It is not about the origin of Sanskrit, it is about the influence of these languages and the influence of the other language families, like, Dravidian influence on Indo-Aryan influence, Dravidian, Munda, Dravidian. So all these things, we should be looking at, and he has given the clear picture of the seminar concept in the valedictory. So I thank all the speakers who have presented their views in this 2-day seminar, and especially I thank Ashish Sharma sir for giving the keynote address of this, the concept of Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. And I also thank our Ramesh Kumar sir, because, he shared his views on Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar from, as a, India's linguistic area. Because, he's a linguistics professor, so he has been teaching the social linguistics and South Asian languages, so he knew the concept of linguistic area, and, the concept of linguistic area and the Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. Then there's Monsters are always, he's after Halliday model, that is SFL, systemic functional linguistics. So he is relating the systemic functional linguistics and Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar. So with the little, association with Prakash sir, I could get some knowledge about the SFL. So there is the link between Paniyan grammar, especially in Karaka theory and SFL. So he always used to teach me that, you should write a paper on Karaka and SFL, because, they are more closer. So once again, I thank Consular sir and Swati Madam and Bhavin Naik sir for organizing this conference very well. And, more than this, I should thank you people, because, I can see all the, whoever is present here. Yesterday also you were there. That means, this is the real Bharatiya Bhasha Parivar. So I should thank you all, especially students of linguistics. Chandrakant, Sari. Sorry, I forgot to tell you there are approximately 10 research scholars have presented in different languages. Prabhakar from Sanskrit and Mantri Srinivas, he talked about the relationship between Telugu, Marathi, Banjara, Hindi languages. How the politics is a part of Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar, and somebody talked about Telugu, Sanskrit, somebody talked about Hindi and Sanskrit relationship. So I should appreciate all these research scholars on behalf of Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti and Bharatiya Pariwar. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to come here.
Thank you so much, Anna. Valuable summary with 2 days national conference from the Bharatiya. శర్మ నాకు తెలుగులో చక్కగా చెప్పాలంటే ఎంత మసాలా వేసి చక్కగా నూరి కమ్మగా 2 days ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని ఒక ముక్కలు ఎంత స్పీడ్ గా చెప్పారంటే ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయలేదు. నిజంగా ధన్యవాదాలు. ఎందుకంటే ఈ 2 days 15 రోజులు 2 days ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని 15 మంది స్పీకర్స్ ప్రజెంటర్స్ ని అందరినీ ఎంత చక్కగా 2 నిమిషాల్లో ఆయన భాషలో చాలా చక్కగా వివరించడం. I would like to invite Swati Madam, dear Swati Madam, related to the give what I would like to today's national conference participants.
Good afternoon, all. Before I say lot of times, I just wanted to announce that the certificates are getting ready. So we will also be giving certificates after the vote of times. Hopefully they'll be ready by then. Yeah, sorry. Very sorry, related to the program. I'm so sorry, we are running up and down. So we would like to felicitate our keynote speaker and guest chief guest of the program, Mr. Ramesh sir. I see Ramesh. So first we would like to felicitate our speaker. Kindly felicitate our guests and our guest of honor. So especially thank to all the student volunteers. I think really this is the first time that so many student volunteers supported us and they have done such a wonderful work. I'm so proud of you. So and the most proud of applause for all the hard work that you have done. Along with us, our teaching staff, Mr. Satish, Mr. Srinivas, and Mr. Peter, Department of Linguistics, have taken the burden as much as we have taken. So thank you all for supporting this program. Finally, I express my gratitude to all the participants in this program. Actually, we had more than 180 participants registered from all over India, sir. So some of them were also asking whether we have it online. So as soon as the YouTube link was there, I have shared in some of the groups. So I've seen that some of them have joined online and they have seen our program online. And from next time onwards, we will hope to do a hybrid mode, sir, because a lot of messages have come that they wanted to do online. So I hope from next program onwards we can do that. And last but not the least, my PhD scholars of the department, I think one huge round of applause for them. They have taken a whole burden of raising the class, announcing and considering that. Thank you so much for supporting. So in the end, I just wish to say that let us continue this tradition of Bharatiya Bhasha Pariwar and let us be united with still having all the diversity. So unity in diversity, that is the takeaway message that all of us should have. Let us encourage our mother tongues at the same time also encourage other languages. Thank you so much. We thank Professor Bosle sir for giving such a wonderful a comprehensive approach to language studies from the Department of Linguistics at the University of Karnataka. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh sir, for joining us today as the guest of honor and being support the department. Thank you so much, sir. We thank Dr. Naresh to deliver the talk. We would like to thank Dr. Sushi and Sushi, Assistant Professor of University of Delhi. And he delivered a talk on Indian languages, opportunities and challenges. Next we have Dr. Sharma. So he delivered a talk on interconnected diversity in some indigenous languages. Thank you for joining us. Next we have Dr. Balu Nayak. Research for pronominal system in Banjara and Telugu comparative studies. PhD students from Sri Venkateshwara University. So, thank you for joining it. Mr. Prabhakar is the paper presentation from Bangalore. Prabhakar means PhD scholar from Sanskrit department. Raji, College of Commerce. So we have from Commerce also. Thank you so much for joining us. K. Rajita, College of Commerce. She's from Sanskrit department. Miss Aruna Gandhi, research scholar from Sanskrit department. Ram Mohan, Mr. Ram Mohan, retired faculty from Image.
They have to apply to our very active and
Another certificate for myself, Dr. Safe Sorry. And students will come for the certificate, you can write the name. Please come. All the students, all the volunteers, please come. Students, please come. Please take place. Please come. All the volunteers, take from a chief guest. Sweeta. Test. Sir, Shimohan sir. Jayashree. Sharmila Sri. Nitish. Srikanth. Dr. Satish. Dr. Mr. Satish. Mr. Rakesh. Dr. Satish. Mr. Rakesh. Rakesh. Please go ahead. Srikanth. Mr. Srikanth. Somebody hold the camera. Somesh. Virendra Reddy. Danny Kumar sir.
Bro, this one. Camera. Bro, మొత్తం ప్రింట్ రావాలి కదా మొత్తం ప్రింట్ పై బటన్
ఆఫ్లైన్ లో ఆఫ్టర్ 4 years తర్వాత ఫస్ట్ టైం మనం ఆఫ్లైన్ లో సెమినార్ ఎందుకంటే లా అండ్
ఇది నడుస్తుంది నడుస్తుంది ఇది కొట్టుకోనా నితీష్ బ్రో ఇగో ఇది
then I will come. Left hand equal to first of all, and then I will come. First you will traffic. అందుకోలేదు సార్ మీరు
చేయలేదు రాలేదు తీసి కింద పెట్టి బట్ట తీసుకొని పోతాను పని అయిపోయి కింద పడి
డిపార్ట్మెంట్ తిరుగుతా అంటే ఉంచారు అన్నట్టు
సార్ సతీష్ హోటల్ ఉన్నది కదా అందరు వచ్చింది
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఇచ్చేద్దాం తర్వాత ఇంకా మిగిలిన కొంత అవసరం పడుతుంది ఎన్ని సర్టిఫికెట్స్ ఉన్నాయి yes కెమెరాలో పెట్టి తీసేస్తున్నాయి అవసరం
ఇది మన
క్లోజ్ చేస్తాం